In the winter of 2013, my midwife called and practically begged me to go see an Amish family that she was working with. I was pregnant with my third child at the time, so initially I declined. After my daughter arrived, my midwife asked me to reconsider. With my husband's blessing, I got in my car and drove an hour away through winding roads past little white signs for vegetables, jams, and furniture to an Amish community and pulled up to an old white clapboard farmhouse that didn't look too different from my own farmhouse, except it was free of modern conveniences. I have to admit, I had absolutely no idea how I would help this family, but my midwife seemed certain that I could. They had been seeing a court-appointed male therapist, but that wasn't helping. I could tell from the look in their eyes that this family was in desperate need. I purposely wore all black, trying to blend, but I could tell after knocking on their door and being led into their simple home that my clothing was of no importance to them. They were as frightened as I was. I had no idea how to communicate to them. After awkward introductions, I began with a simple story, as I could tell they were uncomfortable to be spending the afternoon with an outsider. All the members of the family sat quietly at the table looking down at the floor, except for the girls, who had apparently been in bed for weeks, ever since they had to share graphic details of their sexual abuse in a courtroom filled with their Amish neighbors. None of the families knew that multiple children had been harmed in the community by a man who weaseled his way into their lives, posing as a helpful neighbor with food and drinks at a barn raising. After the judge sentenced the man to life in prison, the girls simply could not get out of bed, even knowing they had chores to do and their family depended on them. I started with a story about how my husband and I lived in a non-electric cabin for 18 months, so I was quite used to outhouses, and now I live on a farm myself with a garden and chickens and farm animals and my babies, who were all born at home. They mostly wanted to hear about why in the world an English woman would choose to live without electricity. That started a whole series of tales I told about our amateur experiences trying to live off the grid for a time. It was clearly entertaining to them because before you knew it, we were putting together puzzles, playing dominoes, and laughing and eating popcorn, getting to know each other. I guess the girls could sense that I wasn't so bad because my next visit they were eager to meet me. They reluctantly opened up and shared their painful experiences with me. The sacredness of those conversations I hold dear in my heart. As I sat in their bentwood rocking chair and listened intently, I was grateful I could somehow interpret their accents and understand the heart of what they were telling me. What ensued was 3.5 years of counseling as we took turns, me driving to visit them and the family of 14 taking a buggy to a friend's house who drove them to me. It took a long time to repair the 9 years of abuse the children suffered. Shame runs deep, and it takes time to leach out the pain. Now, years later, as I sit in the Amish rocker given to me by the father of those children, reading the handwritten letters of appreciation for the healing I enabled in their family, I'm overwhelmed by what a redemptive story it was. It seemed that the God, as I understand him, had set me up to connect with the most innocent children on earth in order for me to connect with my own true innocence, the essence of who I really was. And it worked. What I was able to share with the Amish was simple. It was hope. The hope that they could heal. The hope that they could laugh again. The hope that they could look each other in the eyes and enjoy life again. The hope that there was a life after this and that they could go on. But more important was what I learned from them. I learned the quality of quiet, the value of slowness, and the importance of mourning together. That hanging laundry can be a social endeavor, that a buggy ride can be a date, that it's okay to hang nothing on the walls and no one will notice, that it's fine to sit a spell, talk a while, or just be quiet together until Mama rings the bell for supper time. I will always treasure the domino games we played, the walks we took, the tears we cried, and ultimately the laughter we shared. I'm grateful that my time with them refocused me on what is truly important in life: family, friends, children, and having the time to connect with each other. While my time with the Amish was drawing to a close, I was asked by the Father to create a resource that would help all Amish children to be prepared for the dangers that are out there, a guide to help them stay safe. I said yes. When I got home, I said a little prayer. God, help me give this community what they need. The child within me began writing. I wrote in the voice of Emma, a sweet, reserved, yet feisty young Amish girl who stood up bravely and said, "Enough is enough." She tells her painful story and then encourages all children, English or Amish, to speak up when they are approached inappropriately. That is how the book A Letter from Emma came to be. It's a book that can be shared with your children to help keep them safe, help them ask for help, and understand that their bodies belong only to them. My hope is that it will help children all over the world to know how to protect themselves. This simple book is a gift to all families looking for a creative way to courageously introduce the topic of abuse prevention to their children and to encourage parents and children to speak up and talk about the hard things. Be strong and courageous. Your friend, Stacy Jagger.